Right. Our second topic of discussion is the big decision that has been taken by the Modi government, a very welcome decision to cancel the 12th class board exams, ending the pain and agony of lakhs of students. It's going to benefit a lot of students. ICSE has also cancelled its class 12th examinations. But, you know, there is suspense over the assessment. How is this assessment going to be carried out? Because the results are still going to come out. And there are three important questions that we want to put on screen right now. The big questions. Big question number one is, what will be the criteria for assessment? The point that we were making just a short while ago. Big question number two, how will we ensure parity between CBSE and state board results? Now, this is a huge issue of concern. Chhattisgarh has already started open book exams. There are other states who are also taking this exam. But then CBSE has cancelled it. Do you see that there is a disparity? How do you do this? And number three, will there be clarity on how students will appear for competitive exams and what the modalities for that are going to be? Let me quickly introduce all our guests this evening, all students, because they know best about their career and their future. Tanushree Rai, Ritika Tiwari, Vaishnavi Srinivas Kotni and Kashish Rizvi. Thank you very much, all of you all, for joining us. Kashish, I want to come to you first. What do you think of this decision?
Sir, ठीक है, because cancel board exam करना because इतने सारे लोग की petition जा रही थी, parents भी, students भी, and other personalities भी, because ये situation नहीं थी exams conduct करनी, तो I think मेरा review तो यही है कि अच्छा किया, मतलब.
Okay. Okay, Vaishnavi, I want to come to you now. What do you think of this decision that has been taken?
I'm definitely happy. It's been long due. It's been much awaited. We've been looking forward to the exams being cancelled because we've been in this sort of limbo where we did not know where we stand, whether the exams will happen or not. But it's also very overwhelming given that a year and a half of being in the same grade has just been over on a random Tuesday evening. But it's just half the battle won. We still have to decide. We still need to know how we will be graded. Finally, so that's the other part of the battle that the CBSE needs to inform us on.
Let me ask you, what do you think? How should you be graded?
Well, while I was reading the news, I saw that quite a few options were given. I don't know if that's final or not, or if it's
no. I want to ask you, what do you think is the best way, given these circumstances?
Right.
Now that the exams have been cancelled, what do you think could be the best possible way to carry out this assessment?
I think the best possible way would be to take a cumulative marking system from class 9 to 11 and also taking internal marks of class 12, given that we have been following the same sort of system of examination, of textbook learning and then giving the examination. I think that it will be a fair system, but I also feel that it's a suggestion from my side that whatever formula the CBSE comes up with must be tested on previous batches to see whether this cumulative system is anywhere close to their class 12 marks. And if the system is actually feasible, because sometimes what can happen is if they do take this method, but it might not be fair, it might give some students an unfair advantage.
Correct.
Because they might have done well in school in the past years. So it needs to be tested properly.
Okay. Tanushree Rai as well as Ritika Tiwari are also with us. Tanushree, I want to come to you now. Now, obviously, one major concern is that, fine, thank you very much, you've cancelled the exams, ended the agony, but how is the assessment process going to go on? The other important point is that how do you ensure parity between state board students as well as CBSE students? Because in many states, students are taking their exams, they're writing exams.
Sir, I think this is not fair with them state board students, because as we are CBSE and ISC students, we can feel them, because what anxiety, depression we are feeling now, same feeling is with them too also. Even you can see state boards are little bit tough for them, because there's a lot of subjects and they have to go for centers. As in the West Bengal, it was going on July, the exams was conducting on July. So I think there should be cancellation for them also, because we are the students and we want, like, we all were united and they're also helping us. So we want the cancellation. Even Modi ji has also told that jaan hai to jaan hai, to Modi ji hai to mumkin hai. So he can do about them also, state board students.
I'll just tell you how the federal structure works. The thing is that actually he cannot, apart from appealing to the state governments, he can't do much, because in a federal structure, Tanushree, what happens is that since education is the responsibility of the state, so respective state governments have to decide what they are going to do with the board examinations. That
Yes, sir,
decision,
but,
that decision the central government can't take.
But sir, if our Prime Minister Modi appeal Chief Ministers and Education Minister,
that apparently he has done. That apparently
Yeah.
in the press note that came today, he has already appealed to the various state governments to take a similar decision. Ritika Tiwari, you know, just taking off from where Tanushree left, see, the point is there will be disparity, right? There will be some state board which will have an unfair advantage or will be at a disadvantage, and then there will be a huge problem on how they get admission in universities, because you will not have parity as far as the marking system is concerned. Do you think that there should have at the very least been an effort where all of these political stakeholders and leaders should have sat together on a table and basically decided, bolted the door, and would have told themselves that either we walk with one decision or we don't go out with any decision. One decision which will suit all students. Otherwise, there will be this disparity.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, because the pandemic is the same for everyone. It's not different for CBSE students or state board students. I think all the chief ministers and our honorable and our prime minister should have come up together with a uniform policy for all the students, because the mental stress, the trauma is the same for every student here. It's not just about CBSE or state board. It's the same for everyone. So I think they should have definitely made a uniform policy for everyone, and they should have just come, because keeping politics aside, they all should have come together and made a uniform policy for all the students, keeping in mind the state board, CBSE, ICSE or whatever.
Any questions that come to your mind, Ritika? There are three questions that we were able to collate after speaking to students. One is, of course, the criteria of assessment. What is the CBSE going to decide on the basis of, as far as the result is concerned? And secondly, how will you ensure parity, which we are discussing? Third is, will there be clarity on how students will appear for competitive exams? Would you want to add to this list anything else that is crossing your mind?
Yeah, see, there are some questions going on in my mind, and the one question is, like, according to some sources, they are saying that they will be taking the marks of 12th, 11th, and 10th. So I just have one question, that many students leave their 10th standard after giving the 10th standard board exams, they change their schools. So will there not be a communication gap or something like that? So there has to be communication between the schools and the authorities to ensure that the marking scheme is the same and fair for everyone. And I think this will be a challenge, I guess. But you know, unusual times require unusual measures. So let's hope for the best.
Okay, Kashish, you know, this point that Ritika has made in an earlier broadcast also, she said that if you carry out this assessment, right, what will be the assessment period? Because exams have not happened, you have to grade students. Right now, I think someone mentioned that you should have the assessment period from 9th grade till 11th grade. But I think this very important point that Ritika made, that there are many students who change their schools after 10th grade. They go to do their 11th and 12th in some other school. So there will be a huge problem, logistical. It will be nightmarish to get these certificates, to put all these processes in place. What do you think?
Yes, sir. Like, of course, there will be a communication gap, and there will be problem arising about. Sir, I think, giving the student the grade, like on the behalf of their previous years result, I don't think this is like ये इतना ज़्यादा मतलब ठीक है.
अच्छा फैसला नहीं है, हाँ?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Let's quickly circle back to a few of the other people who are speaking here. Maybe I can ask Tanushree this. Tanushree, what is your opinion on grading students on the basis of their past performance?
Sir, I think there should be options for the students. They can grade from their internal assessment, from 9 to 10, 11, their marks. And even, yeah, sir, one more thing I have to add. There are some of the schools, they used to go for a favoritism. If the teacher, like if the student is a favorite of teachers, that student will get a good marks, and other student will be like, if he or she is not liking that student, then of course the marks will be of course it will be less. So there should be like a good opinion for the students, like they should think something vast, that every student should be satisfied with that marks, because marks is a thing where we have to show in CV, in our like interviews. Even our college interviews also asked our class 12 marks. Correct. As I have given.
Correct. Vaishnavi, I want to come back to you. You know, there is also a proposal, and I must tell you all so that you are informed. There is also a proposal that the CBSE is considering, that in case some student is not happy with the assessment, whatever the criteria may be, then that student as a last resort may also have this option available to sit for an exam whenever there is, you know, less number of corona cases and the time is conducive. Do you think that will be a good proposal?
While I do believe that every student must get an opportunity to improve their exams if they wish to, I don't know how that will be helpful, considering that college admissions take place a lot before that. The CBSE is saying that whenever it's feasible, whenever they can hold the exams, they will. But what about these students who want college admissions in probably DU or other national universities, where 12th marks are considered? What marks will they present to those universities? But I also think that the CBSE can look at it as an opportunity to make the college admissions process more holistic, considering that our potential has always been reduced to our marks for college admissions. Because of the cutoffs and because of how only class 12 marks matter.
I think that's very interesting. Let this not be an exception in testing times, but let it become the norm, where you create a new system of assessment, which we badly need. I wish I were this young, that in my time there would have been a gradation like this. It would have saved me the nightmares. Thank you very much to all of you all for joining us. We're stopping for a short break at this moment. News continues on the other side.